We got sound and
A lot of people here. Oh yeah, we got everything. But just I think we're on. Yeah, we're on. Oh man, I'm frozen. Okay, so let's see. We were just outside pushing the dart in, freezing out there, and got it in. So there goes stuff tipping over. I'm okay. I'm just
Yeah, but you got to be able to see.
Look at this. We got new people here. Man, Davo's here. Kim fixes it. Okay, that's from earlier when we were down in the house. Let's see here. What else? Okay, you're adjusting the camera. There's junk in the way. Sorry, everybody. KJ Kylie's here. JG Mopar. He's from the UDX, the CB radio guys.
Oh, hey, welcome to the stream. Sorry about the chaos, guys.
Yeah, we really have chaos tonight.
You got to back up. I got to move this table.
We were trying to get something done last minute. Yeah, we're still trying to get stuff. You're moving stuff around.
I made the last minute decision that we were going to put the motor in dark tonight.
Yeah, I didn't even know she was going to do that. I had something else planned. And now we have.
But you didn't tell me that you had anything planned, so I.
Oh no, I didn't know. I didn't know you had something else.
We didn't communicate.
Gearhead 6971. Hello. JB's here. Buddy Carfano's here. He wants to know what is the plan for the shifter.
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
We'll figure it out. We get the motor in the car, the shifter will work itself out.
We get the motor in the car, the shifter will work itself out.
Right there. You got your heat on now. Okay?
Oh, thank you. I got some warmth.
Yeah, you'll get warmth.
Oh, we had the fire going in here, and then we had to open up that big pneumonia hole door to get the dart in. And, of course, the dart's been sitting out there for a little while, so it's rain. So the tire sunk into a little bit of a hole.
I think there was a wheel stop.
Oh, so
we had to get to skid low. Oh, I got it. You know what? I got that other.
I don't know. So we couldn't get the stupid car to move, and pushed. Finally got it. She had to go get her skid loader, which is uncorked. It's just wide open. Here we are, 10:30 at night. We have neighbors. There are some distance apart, but I'm sure they don't want to hear an uncorked engine run.
Oh, I'm sure the neighbors love hearing that skid loader. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you got him there.
But we didn't run it for very long.
Nah.
Oh, man.
Oh, look at that.
My hands are freezing.
Jeez.
Look at what?
How beautiful.
Oh, we got dual cam tonight?
We will have dual cam. We're not ready for that, but yeah.
Okay.
The motor's sitting down here. The transmission is mounted.
She put the automatic on it. She put the automatic on it, got the torque converter in, marked it, because there's 4 bolts, but they're not the same distance apart. They only fit together one way, so she marked that so she get the converter in the right place.
It's already hooked up, bolted down.
JG Mopar says, uncorked motor, music to my ears. Well, this is a 25 horsepower Honda 2-cylinder.
Yeah.
See, it was a
16 horsepower.
What brand was that?
It's a case.
It's a case, some kind of a case skid loader, and it was 16 horsepower diesel or something. But when she got it, somebody had transplanted a Honda 2-cylinder, 25 horsepower 2-cylinder into it. But it doesn't have a good exhaust system on it, so it's just.
The exhaust broke completely off the other day.
Oh, it fell off. Okay, so it's just
completely off.
Just shooting exhaust.
It's just an open header. Actually, I have kind of a megaphone pipe on it. It's like a neighbor hater exhaust.
Neighbor hater.
Yeah.
So let's see here.
I think we were trying to push it over a wheel stop that was lost in the dark of the grass.
Oh, so we pushed it over a wheel chock. That's why we had trouble.
Yeah. We got it in here, though. That's what's important.
And Gearhead says 16 in North Dakota.
Guys, thanks everybody for being here. And welcome to the stream. I'm Kim of Kim Fixes Things. This is Buff Del Campo, the namesake of the channel you are on. And we are here in the shop, live for your viewing enjoyment. Did you guys come from Tony's? Or did you just come straight here from nowhere?
Well, you know what happened?
Tony's probably still going.
I was putting on all my layers of clothing, and I noticed a couple of comments pop up on my screen, and I clicked on it. They're from other videos. So I clicked on them, and it was JG Mopar, UDX 76, and he, who I know from another video that a live video that I attend on Thursday nights. It's a bunch of CB radio guys.
What's his name?
JG Mopar.
No, the one that you guys see it, Matt.
It's 390 Wagon Master.
Yeah, he does radio stuff. If you like CB radio stuff, look for 390 Wagon Master.
390 Wagon Master. Yeah, he's a good guy, and I bring him up on here occasionally.
Yeah.
But I keep seeing JG Mopar in there, and I'm thinking, man, somebody named Mopar. I wonder if he comes in our channel. So I asked him, and here he is. Pretty good. Although I don't know what kind of Mopars he has. I think he said he's in California. Man.
He's just
said
watching
something like,
Garage.
He just said something about, he said it in my chat. I don't remember, or my comments, something about registering something. Don't remember what it was, and it was expensive. Your head was just watching Derek at Bicycle Garage.
Mortsky putting a tree on a wagon?
What is this? I missed something. Oh, yeah, KJ Kai says put 95 pounds of pressure in the tires. It'll roll easier. Yeah,
it would have helped a little.
Back like in 1970, when we didn't have enough power to make a burnout, that's what you do. You go out to the junkyard, find a rock-hard bald tire, a baloney skin, and you put it on the right rear, and you put about 100 pounds of pressure in it, and then you can burn rubber all you want from that right rear. At least till the air starts to show. Dr. Doe says, hope your heat came up a bit from your wood heat. Oh, you know what it did till we opened up the door and pulled the dart in, and it didn't go smoothly, so it was open for too long. It'll warm up again in here.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. It's 50. What is it in here? Yeah, it says it on the thermometer on the wall. It says it's 53.
50. It is. Yeah, that's all it is. It's a little bit colder than we like.
Let's see here. Trying not to fall asleep watching Mortsky put a tree on the wagon. That's
you know what? Sometimes I try and fall asleep to Mortsky. I just let him sleep.
Because his videos are long?
Sometimes he makes really long videos, and Mortsky has a very soothing voice. He has that that cool uncle kind of voice, but he's not saying anything all that important. He's just talking. Hello, Mexican Spec.
Yeah,
he's feeling better. I just got to make sure I don't get him sick out here in the garage.
G Mopar says he has a 68 Dodge Coronet 440 and a 65 Plymouth Valiant. I sold my 71 Dodge Charger RT last year. And that's what happens with cars. Cars come and cars go. When I was in California, I lived in Central California and back in the 60s and 70s. And I got my license in 1970, so most of my cars were in the 70s. And, man, I had a lot of cars, but it was what I call the dynamic collection. Static collection, you get to keep them all, and they sit there. But a dynamic collection, you got to buy them and sell them and buy them and sell them. So they all kind of came and went. Let's see, Dr. Gopit is on with John Welburn, but had to miss Tony's, unfortunately. Tony answered my carb question, John's life. Yeah, I was watching that, Dr. Go. I was in there. I was in there watching that.
Yeah, we were trying to watch it all, but we had to get ready if we were going to be out here too. So.
And Mexican Spec, man, I'm not 100%, but I'm getting closer.
I was mean to him today. I made him get up and work.
Still got a cough going. And as long as I take some Tylenol or something, the cough kind of stops. But I know something isn't quite right. And if I don't take Tylenol, my eyes itch. But all the runny business in my eyes quit. So, and my nose isn't running anymore. So, I'm feeling a lot better. But, geez, not 100%. Yeah, in Tavo, it's Saturday afternoon down there. That's good. It's good you're here. not working. See, I guess most of you here know Tavo's. He's in South Australia. So what happens is he ends up, when we're here at night, he's working and he stops in on his lunch break. And then he
don't scratch the paint.
Then he always has to go back to work. Dr. Ghost says he got his driver's license on 7/7/77. Now my birthday's on 13th, you know, and I would have got my driver's license. 16th birthday was on a Friday the 13th, which reminds me, happy Friday the 13th. I was going to put that on the thumbnail and I forgot. We're here on Friday the 13th in the shop because it's a good thing to do. Right. I have a local doctor I can go see, yes. Well, as much as you can go see a doctor today. I asked how you get, they have one doctor in the office. It's all, you know, nurse practitioners and physician's assistants. And I don't know. I'm not sure the quality is as high as it used to be, but maybe it is. JB says month before he was born. Yeah, happy Friday. Yeah, so my 16th birthday was on a Friday the 13th, but my mother did not want me to go get my driver's license. That's all right. In California, we had to have a bunch of requirements from school before we get our driver's license, and mine weren't all complete. Oh, and it's a full moon. Is it?
Oh, great.
Full moon Friday the
13th. You guys are making me a little worried about what my plans were here.
Jody Pearson, I'm headed to the snowmobile races tomorrow and Sunday. That just sounds cold.
Should I do this, or is this too dangerous? Are the stars in the wrong alignment to try
Okay, what I would say, Kim, is do you have the transmission plugged at all? So I know you've had that transmission
apart.
There's
no fluid in that transmission. Well, you tethered me so I don't...
Just a second. I'm going to put a cough drop in. And I'm going to tether you.
Just tether me just a little.
Okay, you got to watch yourself do something here.
I mean, you get back to the side so they can see what's happening.
Can they see what's happening? I think they can see what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, when we say we're in the shop, we're just in the shop doing something, and we go online. But Tuesday nights are different. Tuesday nights we come on at 7 Central, and we have a picture show with everybody's cars and everything. Oh, and that's another thing. We're new here, Jason Mopar. Tuesday nights, 7 Central, we do a live, at least 2 hours, usually 3 or so, and we have a way to show pictures up behind us, so we shrink ourselves down real low in one corner.
We use a green screen.
And we have this green screen, and we show everybody's pictures they send in of their cars, themselves, the streets they live on, where they race, whatever they want to show.
Okay.
You are nearly there.
I think I'm there. I'm just going to get...
But I need to swap sides here.
Lift. But no, it's good. It's good. You don't have to... You could just...
Yeah, I need to go over there. I think I should go over that side.
No, you're okay. Just put it down. But back up a few steps. Push your chair back. I don't want you to be too close to what I'm doing.
I don't know what you...
If something goes down, I don't want us both to be injured. I need somebody to call 911.
Need somebody to call 911. We could see Kim smash the grill on the dart. No, Mexican spec.
Please don't. No.
Powell says he got his license the one working day between Christmas and New Year's. It was a very short drive, and the examiner said, yeah, you're good to go. May have had a hangover. Oh, Mike wants to see the wood stove. We'll get to the wood stove, but we got to get this in there first, obviously. Kind of busy here.
This doesn't seem very good.
Just go slow. Don't drop it. That's all. Just go. Okay. And then what we do is this. We go back some and tuck that under there. You know what I mean? Okay, and then you're gonna have to. We're gonna hit the ballast resistor if we don't push down on the tail shaft with something.
I gotta move this camera so they can potentially
They
see.
can see us the accident we're having.
Yeah.
I really want to tuck that into the tunnel. I don't know how you want to do that. You want to put that under the car so we can pull down on it?
Yeah. Good idea. I'm gonna get it so that make a little lasso. Lasso. Yeah. Kill the ballast resistor while we're at it here.
Don't kill the ballast resistor.
And then, like I said, put it down underneath.
Yeah, perfect. Don't go on that side of it. Maybe. Hey, you probably won't hit the steering linkage.
Yeah. We shouldn't have to pull that hard.
That's right.
And then this way we've got good leverage against it. Okay. Here we go. Now, you pull that and I'll manage the
The twisty turning up and down.
yeah, see if you can get it to go a little bit down.
Okay.
Now,
okay, but you gotta pull it, you gotta twist it around so it, I don't think that's gonna do it, but it might. You gotta get it in the tunnel and not, see, we're off center.
yeah.
I think you can come down a little because you got room on the pan there, but maybe not. No, because we're gonna have to go back.
We're gonna have to go back. Gotta go up just a smidge.
Oh, and the car's rolling on this.
Is it really? Oh.
Yeah. You have a,
Where's it rolling? Towards you?
toward me, yeah, when I pull.
I'm gonna block it so it can't go either way.
Yep.
Boy, Chat's getting the special stuff tonight. You know what? This is not gonna work because I chained it up too short.
You what?
Chained it up too short. See, it's hitting right here, the angle.
So now what do we do?
Maybe I can. Maybe it can. Let's
flip it, do this. Flip it so it doesn't hit it. Okay. Then I gotta pull this down. Can you let it down some?
Not and get the pan over. Let's work together here.
Yeah, I think you just need to come down like an inch. 2 inch. I think we'll do it. Kim, just come down a minute.
Well, I can now, but I couldn't.
Okay, I'm holding it.
Okay, I gotta find my bar. Where's my...
Place for that. You just go easy. That wasn't real easy, but okay.
It's launching like a torpedo, like a ship from a...
Okay, go down a little bit more.
Okay.
I need to let go of this because this isn't doing me any good anymore.
I think it needs to go down just a second.
Yeah, more pressure down. Okay. Now, my next suggestion would be
I think we're making excellent progress here.
just put a jack under the car so you can get it under the trans when it gets down to that point.
Yes, but I'm gonna get it in there just a little bit further.
Okay.
And I get that's gonna be a problem.
It's actually not too bad.
The problem here is that
That thing's wrong.
That wheel is it's hitting the tire. The one
the one from the hoist.
Yeah.
So you have to swing the hoist around. So
try. Okay, I think it might be enough. Let's see. If it's not, I might have to do it one more time.
Those things. Yeah. Oh no, know, there's a lot of weight on it.
Yeah, well, yeah, the motor.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I could.
That's okay. I think we've got leverage hurting us right now, too. I'm going to try and go down and see if I can scoop a little more in there. Just drop it, he says.
Well, I'm pushing back too, so it shouldn't crush the core support. It should go backwards.
I know.
Until you get to the pulley, then it'll catch.
Got a linkage here. Try not to.
Oh, okay.
That's all right. We'll work together on that part.
Try for the pry bar wood.
I'm up to the tires up against the.
Up against it.
Move it this way a little bit. Come.
Okay. Now you might be able to just go down easy. Don't let it jerk. Easy, easy.
Okay, take a second. I need a break. I need a break for a second. Stop what we're doing for a second. Go ahead and
Back to this.
see how the chat's.
I have no idea where
Hold
the
up.
chat's at.
See if they're doing okay.
I haven't been looking at the chat at all.
I know. We're getting it in there. It's
So what's the chat say? Mike N says we'll take a shot of whiskey when the crowbar comes out. I remember dropping G Mopar. I remember dropping a 360 in my Valiant. It was not fun. We got a guy in the group. He goes by One-Eyed Cat. He has an early Valiant. You know, the Road Toads, 1962 Valiant. He's got a 440 in that thing.
I don't know how we got that 440. I'm gonna see.
And you know, when you open up the hood on it, it kind of looks like it belongs there. But man, the engine compartment's full.
I'm gonna see if I can get this flip to go. I'm gonna give it a.
I've always thought the ones that we call the Road Toads, the 60, 61, and 62s.
That's way better. Aha!
Kim's down there kicking the shit out of it.
Free as the wind blows, free as the grass grows. Okay. Whew.
Anyway, I like those. I always thought a small block, you know, like a LA motor would be really nice in one of those. Oh, man. Oh, what's this? Jody Pierce says Grand Forks for me. Oh, that's North Dakota. Mike in, whatever you're drinking. Kim's drinking coffee. I'm not drinking anything, but I'm sure I'll have some water or something around here. The liquids I have near me are water and Heinz ketchup. Had enough ketchup tonight. That doesn't sound like a good mixed drink. Water and ketchup. Hey, Olive's here. Hey, how you doing? We're here working late, man. We were about frozen because we were pushing this car in. Kim came up here early and got the wood stove going, got it all warmed up. And then we opened up the door to bring the dart in. Of course, we had trouble getting it to move. And got it in here, but we let all our heat out. So we're trying to regain the heat. What is it? It's come up 1 degree. It's 54. KJ Kylie, are there any books about the Mexican auto industry? Man, that's what you should do, Mexican Spec. Write a book about the Mexican auto industry. Man, and Mexican Spec is just, he knows all this stuff. JG Mopar says it had a slant 6. Yeah, that's how this one is. You know, we've got a 72 Valiant. That's actually my car. And this is her car. This is Kim's car. So we got a 66 Dart, 72 Valiant, both slant 6 cars. And then recently I acquired a Ford, well, actually it's a Mercury Zephyr Z7, like a Ford Futura. It's like a Fairmont that has a lowered top on it and that band around the roof. So it's got a 6-cylinder in it, but I don't know what I'm going to do with that. That may end up being a 6-cylinder car, or it may end up being something faster.
Oh, jeez.
Mike N said we need a kerosene radiant heater. You know why we use a wood stove is because we have lots of wood. And
we have oak trees on the property, and there's an abundance of wood.
It works so well. Yeah, Mexican Spec is an encyclopedia of automotive knowledge. Let's see here. Okay. Tawa says, it just occurred to me I've never pulled or fitted a slant 6 to any of my own Valiants. Did plenty of working in the wrecking yard. The ones I owned just kept going. You know, I had a 69 Dodge Dart years ago, had 325,000 miles on it, slant 6 automatic, and it ran fine, but man, it was getting pretty smoky. But I didn't have the knowledge then I do now. I think what I should have done is just pulled I bet the valve seals were all hard, crusty things because it'd smoke like hell when you let off on the gas. And I'm thinking it was sucking oil down the guides.
Yeah, I'll bet.
But that's the car that I put now everybody's going to get mad at me. That's the car that I put the Pontiac Iron Duke in it, which made it really light. It had a little less power, but the car was so light. And of course, then I could just crank the torsion bars down so it's set level. And that thing ran for years like that.
Yeah, I'm breaking the ballast resistor.
You're breaking the balance resistor. Balance resistor? Sunflower heater to hug up to. Sunflower heater. Ooh, I know what a sunflower heater is. That's a big, round, looks like a sunflower, but it's heat.
What's an American size smaller than 10 millimeter?
Smaller than 10? Right. Well, 3/8. On the U.S. cars, this Mexican Spec says, on the U.S. cars, it is my experience with the Mexican cars, I take it as I go. I know the 1999 Ram Chargers now as well as the Ford Carryalls and some about the newer Beetles. I've never looked at the miles on the cars. They were 5-digit odometers, but who knew how many times it went around. Hey, that's something I want to know about. 11:30 seconds. It could be 11:30 seconds.
No,
it's 3/8. I knew what she meant. That's a question I had. I was thinking about this. Mexican Spec. We were talking about a speedometer for my car. Did the 5-digit, 5 main digit miles cars, were they the same way in Mexico with 5 digits for kilometers? Or did they go to 6 digits on the kilometer cars? Just curious about that. Just run 12 volts directly to the coil. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, I learned about that. When I was 17, my brother had a Plymouth Fury that he let me use.
This car doesn't even use the ballast resistor.
Yeah, we don't use it anyway. It's got electronic ignition. But I did that on a 63 Plymouth because I use it sometimes. He didn't know I was using it. And I just hotwire it and wire it direct. And I burned up points. Pretty quickly, the points had little mountains on them and started missing like crazy. I have to always carry a point file with me when I had his car hotwire. That's probably about the worst thing I ever did as a kid. Just borrow my brother's car sometimes when he didn't know I was going. Wow, that went down in a hurry.
She's in there!
Is that on the mouse?
No, I dropped it.
It just dropped wherever it went.
I missed. Okay, let's see. Where are we?
Mexican Spec says buff. Here's why I'm asking Mexican Spec about this. Mexican Spec, he has all these cars he tries to sell. Or I guess he does sell. Most of them are Mexican Spec cars that are very similar to U.S. cars. But they're made in Mexico, so there's some differences. But he also deals in parts, and he deals in lenses for turn signals and running lights and side marker lights and all that kind of stuff. And I bought things from Mexican Spec before. And I bought this Futura. It's not a Futura. What is it? Mercury, anyway.
Zephyr.
Zephyr Z7.
Did you forget what kind of car you have?
Oh, it just sounds so stupid, Z7. It's a Fairmont Futura, except it's not. So anyway, it's got one of those stupid American 85 mile an hour speedometer. That's bad enough that it only goes to 85. But it's graduated in 5, so it's really easy to make a mistake. So it goes like, 35, 45, 55, that's highlighted, and then 65, 75. And more than once in one of those cars, I've been driving along and been going 5 over because I expect to be on a major increment on the speedometer, and it's not. The major increments are on the 5s. So Mexican Spec was looking for a speedometer from a Mexican Fairmont for me that's in kilometers, which is fine because the inside row of numbers will be miles, and I think I might be able to gear it down and make it so it does read miles per hour, which would be really nice because then instead of driving around with the speedometer up near the top like it is now, it'll be driving around with the speedometer in mid-range, which is probably where it's most accurate. Dr. Go minus 5-digit car odometer. Oh, you just sent a picture on Instagram. Oh, that's why my phone's buzzing. Okay. Top of my 70 Valiant U only has 25,000 on the clock. No idea if that's 125,000, 225. And I'm assuming that's kilometers. I have to send out 2 sets of lenses for a 64 Valiant, including reverse lenses. Well, that's good. Mexican Spec's gotten me lenses before. Man, they are perfect. They're exact replicas of the originals. And they're really nice stuff.
The color and everything, the shape and
everything is perfect.
But the one thing that was different, just so people aren't mistaken about it, is I think that the name badging is different than the original.
Oh yeah, it doesn't say.
They don't have the little Mopar symbol on them. They have whatever they say on them, Ban-Ami or something. I forget what it was. I don't know why I think that's what it was. You know what I mean.
Okay, yeah, it's okay.
They're beautiful, and I'm not saying anything bad about them. I just don't want anybody misled to think that they're a...
It's in kilometers and it's 5 digits. So man, you don't go very far before you roll the speedometer over or roll the odometer over. Ooh, huh. Well, that's all right. We'll figure it out. Buick Smith's here. Hello, how you doing? So yeah, this is what Mexican Spec sent me. Do the John Wilburn picture show. That's taken out here. That's the speedometer from a Fairmont in Mexico, and he's looking for one from a junkyard for me so I can put it in my.
That would be super cool of you if you can find one. But
I can run in kilometers.
There is no hurry. We haven't touched the car since we got home because
we took it for one ride, and then I got sick.
Yeah. And we decided that this was getting the motor in it first so that we could get the motor out of the garage.
Well, yeah, we can make some room in here because we'll have this engine transmission out of here. We'll have the car running. It won't just be hanging out in front of the shop, Tavo Mexican Spec 73, 74. We changed to metric. Mine are in. They're in miles. Yeah, Mexico is always kilometers. It's interesting to see a Speedo from a 69 Impala in kilometers. I bought one for my 69 Kingswood wagon. I would not want to be in a Fairmont going 180 kilometers per hour. What is that? Isn't that fast? What is that? That's like, that's a little over 100, isn't it? Like 120 or something. If I get paid for the car I sold, I will go see what I can get in Guadalajara. I'll tell people you drive a Z, and they say 240Z, 280Z, Z28. No, Z7. Oh yeah, they had to put a Z on it. Z7. And if those taillights weren't so expensive, I'd just put the Futura taillights on and call it a Futura, but those are $1,000 taillights. Youch. I mean, if you can find them.
That's nuts. I gotta find the other motor.
Mexican Spec said he had a friend told him. His friend he had a vet. Turned out it was a Chevette.
I had a Chevette.
You had a Chevette.
I did. I had two of them, maybe three.
Two Chevettes.
I put a transmission in a Chevette. I put a. What else did I do? I did a lot of work on a Chevette.
Okay. Octavo says he's been a 70 Valiant nudging 200 kilometers an hour, nudging 120. In fact, I was piloting it at the time. Okay, 111. Well, see, my last Futura, the one that was actually a Futura, just exactly like my Z7, it had a 4-cylinder in it that I pulled out, I built that 302 and put a 302 C4 in it. Man, I mean, it was, then I started breaking rear ends, but I fixed that. And then that was a nice car, and it wasn't that old. It was only 4 years old. And the, suspension was really good on it. And that thing would fly along at 120, just rock solid, And I expect this one will be the same once we get everything fixed, Mexican Spec, I like the horizontal lights. They're more rare to see. But Jack, hey Jack. Kim, hope you two are great. I am feeling better. Kim's way better. And I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
After it.
Mexican Spec says, don't brag about that, Kim. It's nothing to brag about. What were you bragging about? I don't know. Oh, the Chevettes. Jody Pearson, my first car was an 80 Chevette, two-door, 4-speed. That's a good one. JG Mopar, my buddy had a Chevette years ago. Yeah, the guy that I had a roommate had a Chevette. He was what he drove every day. You know what? That guy saved money. We paid rent on the apartment, and he had that Chevette. All he did was drove it to work. I don't think he did anything else. And that guy saved money and saved money and saved money. He's just stashing money. Buick Smith, did you ever see the Faster with Finnegan episode that they built a supercharged Fairmont and ran it on a NASCAR track? No, the driver said that all NASCAR should be supercharged. Yeah, I bet. That Valiant had a mere 245 cubes pushing it along too. Oh yeah, you got those good engines. How do those feel? Like if you're in a 225, like I don't know, do they have the 2-barrel 225s there? If you're like in a 225 slant 6 and compare it to a comparable Hemi 6, how do they drive? Is the Hemi noticeably faster or slower or the same, or how is it? And I mean stock, in their stock condition. The guy here showed me his Chevette. He was so proud of it. It was a diesel Chevette. Oh, that's got it.
Woo!
He says it was
about slower
than a turtle. Oh man.
Yeah, diesel Chevette.
What's your friend's name, Elon? No, it wasn't. He was man. He and I worked at a nuclear power plant together. We were making pretty good money, but he didn't spend any money on anything. Jody says my Chevette was lucky to hit 55 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah, man, I remember that Chevette. You had to stand on it, and it just... But then again, I didn't know what I was doing.
Jody says, I knew a guy that had a green 76, got it for $50. He sat on rural mail route for years, then sold it to his friend. Car's still going.
Still going.
Has to have at least 1 million miles on it. You know, that's the thing about a lot of slow cars. And have enough power to break them.
Slow forever.
Dr. Go, I have a Chevelle right now. But unfortunately, it's just a snow shovel with a handle. Oh, was that Chevette the road car T-body? Oh, probably. If so, we had our version down here, the Holden Gemini. That was a Gemini. I didn't know what that was. Also available in diesel. It's getting really hot here. I'm going to turn this heater down a notch because it's starting. I'm thinking, what's that smell? And then I realize it's my pants getting warm. They bought Buddy Carfano T1000 Pontiac Chevette. Yeah, they had the T1000 Pontiac, which looked just like a Chevette, except it had the Pontiac crest on the front and sold them in Pontiac dealers. And when somebody says, "Is that a Chevette?" You say, "Oh, no, it's a Pontiac."
No, it's not a Chevette. Why would you say that?
Well, I had a good friend worked at a Chevy dealer in 1976, and they came out with Chevettes, and they had just a lot full. They're just Chevettes everywhere, brand new ones for sale, and they didn't sell very many of them. And then they used to have kits come out for like things that are recalls, so they come out with a kit to fix the recall. Well, then the 77 models came out, and I'm like, "Hey, Bruce, what are they going to do with all those 76 Chevettes out there?" And he goes, "I think they're coming out with 77 kits. Going to make them all into 77s." But in 77, they really took off. They started selling them like crazy. They just didn't sell well the first year. At least in California where I was, they didn't sell well. But the car, I went to buy this Mexican Spec says, I went to buy a new 87 Sunbird. The salesman said, "We have the T1000 too." I asked him, "Do I look like an idiot?" Oh man, he just been to some salesman seminar trying to sell the damn things. Fab too fast on YouTube. Build supercharged 3.8 liter Buick V6 powered Chevettes. You know what? There's a guy here who's a hot rod guy garage. I can't think of his name. He's over in Eastern Tennessee. And the second annual No Name Nationals, he showed up with a 3.8 V6 supercharged or turbocharged, I guess, Buick, a front drive setup in the back of a what is that thing called? What is that thing called, Kim? That little front drive car? Geo Metro. Geo Metro with a midships 3.8 Buick. That was a fast car. And he drove it there from Tennessee and drove it back home. I was hoping to see it the next year, but he brought other stuff. Hemi 6 is noisier. They are known as a rattler. More horsepower and torque than a slant, but the slant gives its torque slightly lower revs. Huh. Yeah, because I just, I see all the video stuff you did on them, and I see pictures of them and everything in Australia, but I can't imagine what they're like to drive. It's really sad they did all that work up here, and I think it was supposed to be in the trucks. I thought we were supposed to get it in the trucks, in the pickup trucks, but they only sold them in Australia.
Maybe it was a pollution thing.
I wonder why the Chevette started with amber turn signals. Then later they went to red light for brake and signal. Oh, who knows? Some designer got his way. Jack says roasted leg of buff. Yeah, I don't grab the barbecue sauce. She spilled her coffee on me earlier, so. Well, that's what the smell is. It's the coffee that spilled on my arm. That's what got hot. JB, a lot of GMs were like that. Celebrity had amber for 1 year only, 82. Buick had them in Somerset for 2 years off the top of my head. Yeah, I kind of wish they would have left that. My last Pinto was that thing, the surfer van, the little van Pinto that I had painted black, and that was a nice car. Nose was lowered a little bit, big white slotted mags on it. Everything was black and gold. That thing, I changed the taillights over, so the center taillights that used to be the backup lights were amber turn signals. I fixed all that. I thought it looked really good, and then I had some other little round backup lights down below that were really bright. I think they were supposed to be little driving lights about this big, and Man, those were my backup lights. You could see out the back of that thing real well. But I like the amber turn signals that I did. That was a trivia fact. The economy model Hemi, the 215, produced the same horsepower and 15 foot-pound more torque than the 225. Really, I wonder how those were one next to the other. Cheaper make, perhaps next spec. I'm sure the bean counters, yeah. Sometimes I wonder if the change costs more than the
probably
cost of the thing.
They probably thought it was going to be good at the time.
Mexican spec. When I bought the Sunbird, I worked at a Chevy dealer. The new car manager knew enough to never order any Chevettes for the lot. The Sprint was 100 times the car. Sprint. Oh, the Chevy Sprint. What a great car that was. I had two friends that had Chevy Sprints. Both of them were little wagons. And one of them used to get, he's like a,
Mounted! Engine mounts are on.
It's Kim and there the power wrench.
Goes.
Yeah, those things were great cars. He had to change the wiring harness. No kidding. I don't know. You know, changing those amber turn signals, that was a wiring nightmare because I had to figure all that out. Still use the turn signal switch. It was a big pain in the ass. Powell says a 245 is much like a Ford 250. Just up the power 10 or 15%. Huh.
Oh, I'm so pleased. The engine's in the car.
The engine's in the car. The transmission's just hanging there, or what?
I'm gonna see. Yeah. Well, the transmission's on
a jack.
Bumper. Yeah, a jack. But
Bumper jack.
We put a.
JB, the SD was meant to compete with the Europeans. Yeah, I doubt that would ever happen, but yeah. The Pontiac lot we own didn't have any Sunbird either. They sold a lot of those cars of all divisions. The Celebrity here has 2.8 V6 with the 4-speed manual. Man, I always wanted a Pontiac 6000. Back then, I always wanted a Pontiac 6000. I had that used car lot. And I bought so many A-body GM cars, and they were all Celebrities and Celebrity wagons and Eurosport wagons and Cutlass Sierras. I had one Cutlass Sierra, and I lost count of how many Buick Centuries. Never once had a Pontiac 6000. Yeah, it was a Pinto cruising wagon. Well, what it was I'd buy Pinto wagons, or I had one that was a Bobcat wagon, and I had radiator shops, so I used them for my delivery vehicles, and I'd buy a set of those panels, and I'd convert them over to the Pinto cruising wagons, and I'd paint them black, and I thought they looked really good. But my last one I was in Ohio, and I'd left it in California at a friend's house. He was selling the house, so I asked him to sell it for me, and he did. That was the end of that.
All right. Does anybody know? Will the transmission cross member from a 66 interchange with the transmission cross member from 67?
Cutlass Sierra is one of the best-selling front-wheel drives in the U.S. Looked up 84 Sierra wagon once with a 4.3. Oh God, I wouldn't want that. I had a Cutlass Sierra 4-door. I had several wagons that were both Buick Centuries and. Okay, so now Kim has a real question.
I already asked the question. Did they hear?
I don't know. I can't keep up with the chat. I'm running out of voice, and it's
the transmission cross member from a 66. One way to find out. Thanks, Mike. That's the encouragement I need this day and age. All right.
JG Mopar. I've never had a Chevy. Only Ford and Mopars. Then I've had like every kind of American car there is, except. I've had Fords and Mopars and GM, but I've never had the high-end ones. I've never had an Imperial. I've never had a Lincoln. and I've never had a Cadillac. The only one I would ever call, I guess, the Chrysler became the high end when the Imperial went away. So I had a PT Cruiser, and it was registered as a Chrysler, but it was supposed to be a Plymouth until the Plymouth went away and they sold it through Chrysler dealers. So I guess I did own one Chrysler, but that's kind of like a fake Chrysler. Almost bought an 88 STE with a factory 5-speed manual. Almost. Bought an 88 Celebrity Euro sedan with 5-speed. Man, I had, I think, the rustiest Celebrity Euro Sport wagon in the world up there in Ohio.
You were in Ohio?
Maybe. I was in Ohio. Maybe. And it had bucket seats and a console and the shifter in the middle and everything. And that's really why I bought the car, because I wanted all that stuff to put into one of my other A bodies, but I never did. Chevy just kept. Let's see here. I'm trying to keep up with this. I'm sorry, everybody. I can't keep up with it. It rolls by too fast. I had an Oldsmith 3800 transverse mounted engine. And a 3800 was a great engine. I had one of those Dustbuster vans. And I bought it online. It was supposed to have a 3800. I got it. It had a 3100 in it. I was not happy with that.
The 66 will bolt to a 67. Okay. We'll find out. If it doesn't work, then we'll just have something.
Yeah, remember the old Trofeo? Oh, it was Trofeo. Always looked like. Oh, that was a Tornado. It was wasn't that a trim package on the Tornado, the Trofeo? Swap the cross member from a 66 to what year, Kim? Oh, it's a 66, but she's got a transmission. It was a 3-speed manual, and she swapped it to an automatic. She wants to know if it'll bolt up. My old coworker had over 360,000 miles on a 3800. Yeah, 3800s are wonderful. A lot of people think those Pontiac wheels. Think those had Pontiac wheels, but they're slightly different. 66 and 7 are different. That's what Dowell says. Well, the only thing that's 67 on this right now is the transmission. So
the transmission's a 67, and the let's see how it goes. I'm just gonna try.
Buddy says it'll fit if you have a big enough hammer.
Yeah, thanks. That's great news. That's useful information. I know I can do it with a welder, but I don't know if I want to do it that way.
Towel says the 66 will bolt to a 67 on transmission. Yeah, I'm thinking the transmission's probably the same. Transmission problems with the PT Cruiser. The only problem I had with the PT Cruiser, mine had a 5-speed manual, is the clutch started to, the hydraulic clutch. You put the clutch to the floor and stop, and you're sitting there, and the car would start creeping forward because the master cylinder would bypass, and the clutch would start to engage. And you have to pump it a couple times in a hurry, put it in neutral or something. But what I didn't like about that is you couldn't buy pieces and parts. You had to go to the Chrysler dealer and buy the master cylinder, slave cylinder, all the tubing and everything, and it was already bled, and you bought it as a one-piece unit. And it was expensive. I don't remember what it cost, but you had to put the whole thing in. So you couldn't just replace the master cylinder or rebuild it or something. I came from the old rebuild days, not from the replace the whole shit days. Transmission problems with PT. Oh, I already read that. The perfect PT Cruiser is the turbo with a manual. The other problem I have with PT Cruisers, and watch this, if you got these things around, is the outer tie rod ends are pressed together, cheesy little bearings, and they are garbage. And I've had them fall apart I'm sitting in a parking lot, I start to move, and pretty soon the tires are moving. Oops, where's my camera? Tires are moving independently from each other. They're going in there, and the tie rod's falling off the steering arm. It's like, you got to be kidding me. So if you have PT Cruiser, just go out immediately, buy forged steel tie rod ends like a normal car, and put them on there before that happens while you're driving down the road. You completely lose your steering. Wasn't that one Lincoln like an actual Jaguar partner car? Yeah, wasn't that the Lincoln the LS? Like we have something else called LS. The little four door had the I think it was. And so was the little 2-seat T-Bird. There's a lot of Jaguar kind of stuff. But that they both had that 3.9 engine. Jaguar version was a 4.0 V8, completely different than all the other four. I don't know about the other transmission problems with PT Cruisers. Transport van, yeah, I had one of those. I really liked that transport van, except if it had 3800, then it would have been a whole lot better. Well, I bought mine online. I bought it from a place that ended up having, like, they had more bad feedback than good feedback, but I didn't notice that when I bought it. I wasn't paying attention. And it was a place that they had a lot of repo cars, and mine was a repo. It had seats missing in it. They just didn't tell much about it. I went and picked it up on a rainy day, and the window was down. And the first thing I do is go put the window up, and of course it's broken. And the whole thing was a pain in the ass car. Although I made it better, but it's a lot of work. I really miss my 95 old Silhouette. Love that van. Yeah, it's one of the Dustbuster vans. Yeah, I like the last 2 years of the Pontiac better because it had the nose on it like a Grand Prix. I thought it looked really good. And the Olds, I guess the Olds and the Pontiac Transport had the dash that looked just about the same as a Grand Prix. And then the Chevrolet, what they call it, Lumina APV had a different dash.
That's not the right one.
K.J. Kylie, I don't care what I drive. Own Chryslers, Dodges, and Plymouths. Yeah, what are you going to do now? Buy old ones. We just sold a clean transport the other day at the towing lot. Wow.
Okay, the definitive answer is no.
Is no?
No, I gotta find the one that came off of the car.
Oh.
It goes with the car. It stays with the car. Because the holes are drilled very different on the underside of the cross. The cross member.
Oh, I see. You're trying to put a 67 cross member under.
Yeah.
You got to find the cross member from the car.
Yeah.
Could it be in the trunk?
No. It's with the. I took the transmission out. I took it off the transmission later in the process, so it's sitting around here somewhere. I gotta scrounge it up.
Yeah, Tavo says keep the 66 cross member bolts to the trans.
Yep.
So that's the piece she's looking for.
Yep, it's here somewhere.
Chevy HHR wannabe PT Cruiser. I rented an HHR one time when I was renting cars a lot. And then I went somewhere and the guy says, okay. I said, what kind of car you got? He goes, oh, it's an HHR. He goes, oh, you don't want this. I said, yeah, actually I do. He goes, no, you want everybody. He goes, everybody hates these things. You don't want this car. I said, actually I do want it. I like them. And he tried to talk me out of it, and I talked him into it. And I had that HHR for about a week. So that was the second time I had one. And the third time I had one was in Yuma, Arizona, when I got it was a second gen PT Cruiser, and the air conditioning didn't work, and it was summertime. And I took right around the block, came back in. Hey, the air conditioning on the car doesn't work, and they gave me an HHR, and that's fine. But I didn't have it for real long. My mom has an HHR panel. You know, the HHR panel is pretty cool because they don't have door handles in the back, although they have the door. So it looks kind of like a panel. It looks pretty good, but they're getting kind of hard to find. PT autos seem to want to go out at 100,000 miles. Yeah, see, I don't have any experience with that. You know, you buy a car with a manual and you expect the clutch to need a clutch at some point. It's like brakes, you know, they wear. But what went on the PT Cruiser was, and it was, I don't know, 120 something thousand was that the hydraulic part of it. But we ended up putting a clutch in it anyway. We did the whole thing. That was a pain in the ass. Putting a clutch in a PT Cruiser, not fun. Not enough width for a transverse engine. It says transmission issues with the Neon. Being an early series 2, the transmission internals are TF904. The dustbuster had trans problems, too much heat. I put the biggest trans cooler I could on mine. Trans coolers will make so much difference. I wish we got the 5-speed dustbuster like they did across the pond. Somebody just did a video on the European dustbuster vans. I didn't even know they had the 5 speeds till early this morning. Those Intrepids had AC problems too. I really like the looks of the Intrepids. I like sitting in them. I like driving them, but the whole running gear thing on them, I'm like, nah, don't really like those. Felix Smith. I'm out, guys. Good luck with the car, Cam.
Thank you. It's going good.
Did you find the cross number? No. Somewhere in this mess, we have a cross number.
Somewhere in this freaking mess. Yep. Oh, it'll show you. And it's anywhere somewhere.
Oh. I was going to say so. Who was it said something about the JB? About the trans coolers. Man, I learned something about that back in a long time ago. A friend of mine, his mother bought a Dodge van. This is like 1980-ish. Bought a Dodge van with a 360 automatic, one of those high top fiberglass camper vans. And he and I worked. I had a radiator shop. He worked for me, and that thing, it ran hot. We put temperature gauge on it. We put a bunch of gauges on it for his mother. That thing was running at 230 degrees coolant temperature. And we pulled the thermostat out, looked at it. It was 195, and it worked right. And, you know, it needed that because it should run that warm, but it's running way hotter than the thermostat temperature. And we put an oil cooler and a transmission cooler on it. It was a full flow oil cooler. So it was an adapter that went on where the oil filter screws on. You screw this adapter on, and then the oil filter screws on the adapter. And there's 2 lines that come out of it that go to an oil cooler. We put that on there, and that engine, the coolant temperature went to 195 degrees. As soon as we put the oil cooler on it, the coolant temperature dropped to thermostat temperature. Amazing what the oil cooler did on that van. And so you know, if you cooling the oil makes a big difference. Engine service hatch in the floorboard. What's that on? Again. Only good thing about Intrepid motor was straight, not sideways. But everything up there was so heavy and it was out in front of the wheels. I don't know. I guess.
How dumb is Kim for losing the transmission cross member?
You lost the
Scale
cross.
of 1 to 10.
What? You could be outside in that pile.
No, I had it on the transmission, and one night we were working, we were playing with the
It was in the way, so you took it off.
Yeah.
Now we're searching for a transmission cross member.
I mean, there could be worse things going on, but I mean, I really would like to find it so I can continue working.
Okay, so JG Mopar, UDX 76, 8.5, 8.5. It's 8.5. I don't know. So anyway, JG Mopar, UDX 76. This is CB radio stuff. And occasionally I cover CB radio stuff on here. So I've got this nice little Futuro looking car with the band over the roof like a T-bird. Back in the day, I always had cars with either like a 102-inch whip in the center of the roof because that worked so well. Or I had a set of co-phased. Where's the camera? Scoot over in front of the camera. Set of co-phased antennas that stick up like this, and they always work real well up and down the road because they're kind of like blocking each side. But man, it's real directional up front and back of the car. So I think that car looked really good with a set of co-phased antennas on it. But that's like 1970s all over again. So most people probably think it looks stupid today. I don't know. Do I do that to my car? Talos says he has at least 2 spare early cross members in his shed that will fit. Till I post one over.
Tavo does?
Tavo, yeah.
Thanks, Tavo. I'll let you know. If it doesn't show up tonight, maybe we'll talk.
It'll take a month to get through customs. You know who's having trouble right now is Canada. Man, I guess I didn't know this till more just recently. Is that Canada Post has been on strike for quite a while, and just trying to get anything to move in Canada it just doesn't happen. Tawa says it might get here before you find it. I think that's something he and Mike N were talking back and forth about.
It's probably right here. Right? It's exactly where I left it. I'm sure of it.
She says exactly where she left it. There goes this car. Oh, man. She found it. Hey, Tavo, cancel the shipment.
Cancel my request. And look, it's clean and everything.
She says it's clean.
It's even washed it in anticipation of future use. Check that out. Huh?
Hey.
There it is.
Hey. Proof she found it.
I found it.
So now it just needs.
What is that, half an hour?
So it's clean. Is it painted or is it like clean? Like
it's just clean. Remember, everything on the car was like doused in.
Everything under the car was doused in oil.
Yeah.
So nothing under the rusty.
Terrible amounts of oil. Now.
Oh yeah, the stove. Kim, what are we gonna have a second cam up today?
Nah.
Sorry,
guys.
Okay, well I want to show the stove, but the stove is way too far for this camera.
Sorry, guys. You can take a picture with your phone.
Okay, we got to do this. Tavo says, does it have 1 or 2 lower mount holes?
1 or 2 lower what?
Mount holes. Tavo, you should have been in John Wilburn's live tonight. Because I guess they sent a shirt, a No Name National shirt to Dean Stevenson. And you know, because you guys are down under, they printed it upside down so that it can be seen correctly from here. So there's Dean Stevenson wearing the shirt, and he turned around, and it's sure enough, it's right side up for us. Tao says later mount might not fit the cross member. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna walk away for a minute. I'm gonna go take a picture of the wood stove. I'm also gonna check on how the temperature of the wood stove is.
Yeah,
Then I'll come back with the
not fit
picture.
the cross member.
What's that?
That was what the problem was. The later mount did not fit the cross member. It fit the transmission, but not the cross member.
Well, what about this? Does it fit the transmission?
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't know.
It's close.
Hard question.
It's tight. I'm trying to put it on the wall.
Put it on with the mallet.
With it with the hammer. Oh yeah.
Oh, it is warm over here.
Yeah, I'm sweating, but I've been working pretty hard. I didn't know if that was why.
What the hell? I changed it to photo from video. Go to take a picture and let's do.
Well, go ahead and put it up and take some video of the
Take video of the fire.
if you want.
Yeah, let me see what.
Just make sure you open the food before you.
Yeah. Whoa. I've learned. Don't open the wood stove. That glove.
No, because if something tries to come falling out.
If something comes out, you gotta push it in. Or, I mean, the stove itself gets kind of hot.
Yeah, it does. It's very hot.
Now I'll take a picture of the inside of the stove. Ooh, it's nice. I get going on.
I don't remember where I put my bolts for this. Somewhere. All right, it's in place. Olive says, I seem to remember getting the trans mount turned around front to back on my Duster once. Well, it's pretty easy to tell because there's the mount that goes into the transmission, the bolt that goes at the bottom. Anyways, I got it. It's under there. I just have to find the bolts that go through the cross member now. I don't remember where I put any of that stuff. One of these. I'll keep you guys company until he gets back. Who made him go over there and take pictures? I'm sorry.
What's wrong?
I'm working so hard on this car that I'm not doing my job as a camera person. Yay, I found it. Okay. You know what? They both only had one bolt in the center and two on each side, but the 66 was narrower than the 67. Half-inch by 3.5 inch long with flared nuts. All right, thank you, Tavo. I award you a point for that information because I already knew that information. No dual exhaust or headers on 66 or earlier A bodies because of the cross member? No. He is over there taking photos of the stove for you. That's what you said you wanted. Okay, you're back to work. I have to find the bolts that go through the cross member.
Now you found the cross member, but you don't know where the bolts are.
Well, it's been a couple of what has it been months?
It's been a couple months, yeah.
It's been since what, September?
Can you believe it's been over 2 months since the
I said I would have this motor in by next year.
since the No Name Nationals and that whole crash and everything?
Miss my deadline.
Okay, the wood stove looks like that. I don't know if you guys can see this. That's the wood stove. That's the fire. Not very good pictures, like from a phone to a camera, but you get the idea. He's not over there taking photos of the stove for me. Yeah, I was. Uh, I also went over there and moved some wood around inside the stove a little bit, put another piece in there because it's nice keeping it warm in here. It was 53 when we came in here. Right now it's 58, 57 degrees. So it's come up a little bit. Then I got this little heater here running on me, a little electric heater, also running, little local heat on me. I'm a little concerned with my throat because I was so sick and I don't want to be cold, over cold,
How are you feeling?
I feel okay right now. JG Mopar says I had to run the 65 Barracuda Y pipe set up on my Valiant when I put this 360 in my Valiant. Thanks, well, sorry, I thought it was easier to take a camera. Well, see, usually we have a second or third camera in here so we can watch the work on the car and watch, it's different places in the shop. And it just didn't get set up tonight. And then I asked a question earlier, and then I left to go take pictures of a wood stove. So I don't know if anybody answered this question or not. I asked about the CB antennas on a car. I don't know. Again, I've never used a wood stove. And I'll tell you what, that wood stove, you could run any kind of heat you want in here. And it runs hard and it uses a lot of fuel. If you use a wood stove, it'll warm right up. I had a shop in Ohio that was a block building with no insulation. That thing was a cold building. And I had a oil-fired furnace in there. And that furnace would run and run and run and run and run. And it was cold outside, like down, single digits. And I could keep it 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like zero, just below zero C. And it would, that's all I could do. And I had fluorescent lights in there. Lights are real dim, you could hardly see in there working at night in the wintertime. I had coats and sweatshirts and jackets on. And that just all I could do to stay warm. So I built a wood stove, one of those 55-gallon drum wood stoves. Put it in there, put a chimney in and everything. And the night I got it finished, I put wood in there and lit it up. And that night, within an hour, it was 70 degrees in that shop. The fluorescent lights were bright. I could see what I was doing. I peeled my jacket off. I was working. And that's what the wood stove did for me in Ohio. Was fix that problem. And so here, this wood stove, how old is it? I'm not sure. I'd say it's probably built in the 60s, maybe 70s.
I'd say 70s, but I'm guessing.
What's the name on it? I'm looking for another one.
It's a Timberline.
Timberline. If I could find another Timberline, I'd buy it. And I'd put it in the house. It just, how do you turn off the stove? Is there a baffle that you close to starve it out? We close everything down, and it'll sit there, and it'll run like at a low glow. It will not go out, but it'll sit there at a low glow, and you just don't. It's off the ground. We have it on concrete blocks, so it's up a little bit,
and we just several hours to really get it hot to go.
So we'll walk away from it, and it's not a problem. And there's times we come back, like if there's a big log in there, we come back 24 hours later and that big log will be in there. It looks like it's out. I mean, it looks like it's out. You start putting paper in there, paper will start smoldering. You go, oh, it's not out. And you can get a fire going the next night. But it won't burn the last log out. I say run the 102-inch whip. Man, those work well, but I had a 64 Ford Galaxy and I had a 102-inch whip right in the center of the roof. So it looked like a big toy remote control car. But, oh man, here we go. Oh, geez. I don't need this. So, it was, that worked really well, but man, you could catch that thing on wires or anything. JJ Mopar, I have to call it a night. Thanks for the invite, Buff. Be sure to tune in to more live shows. Have to be up at 4:30. Yeah,
and they're not always the same, and the Tuesday night is very different.
Tuesday night is very different. We're in the studio, not in the shop, and we have a picture show. It's a 7 Central, which is, if you're in California, it's 5 o'clock your time. So, yeah, stop in Tuesday night. We always have a good time there, but thanks for stopping by. Are you set to top messages or all messages?
Woohoo!
Oh, I was set to all messages. What happened? We ended up on top again somehow.
I found the things.
Let's see here. Who asked that? Yeah, there's live chat. You set it to top chat or live chat, and top chat will has some kind of censorship on it. I just ran a 3-foot helical whip, gutter mounted. Some friends had 9-foot stainless off the tow bar. See, I don't like the 9-foot off the back because it's very, very. I mean, unless you want it, very, very directional. JG Mopar says, I'll check in. Thanks. Take care. Paolo says, yeah, that looks like them. What were you showing? I don't know. She's over there making noise. She's running a grinder. I think she's running a wire wheel.
Oh yeah.
I want to ask all the participants here something. Oh, transmission crossing rules. I want to ask the participants something here. I tried something that I haven't tried before, which is monetizing this. without any commercials during the live show. So I assume there's a commercial at the beginning, maybe? I don't know. Is anybody getting inundated with commercials or having commercial problems, or did you get one at the beginning, or is it annoying, or tell me what's going on, because I'm trying to see. I monetized this one time and they put like, oh my God, they put like, what, Kim, like 60 commercials the first hour.
Yeah, it was really wrong.
It was horrible. So I just never did that again. But if they fix that problem, and there's only like one at the beginning, I'll leave it, because then at least we make a little money on it. Make our dollar.
Make our dollar. Most of our videos make $1.
You guys see Jamie cut his beard.
Dead Dog Garage cut his beard. Is that who we're talking about?
I guess. I asked, what bet did he lose? Oh, I see. Mike says he didn't recall seeing any commercials. Well, that's good to know. Mexican Spec said he saw a commercial at the start. That's kind of what I expected. JB, I have firefarts with the U-Block origin, no commercials. Nah, you're the guy that don't pay me anything. See, if you get the YouTube commercial, ad blocker, I still get paid. Content creators still get paid. If you use other ones, it cheats the content creators out of their payment. Once the start of the live. Okay, so is that too annoying to anybody? I can just leave it like that? I wouldn't mind doing that. Mike N says a few commercials don't bother me. Well, on somehow on the shorts that I do, somehow I get ad revenue on the shorts. Oh, wow. Tavo, I have an ad blocker, so this might make up for the lost revenue. $5 super chat. I don't have my super chatter thing going.
Tavo.
I don't have my super chatter thing going yet. Here, maybe I can give him a preview. You see up behind me, there's a Studebaker up there, and that Studebaker's missing its running lights right now because I'm in the process of. We just haven't installed them because we got busy tonight. I'm putting these in there. So when you do super chat, we'll flash the lights in the Studebaker. But we don't quite have that up there. So did everybody see those lights? Did they show up okay? Mike N. Wow. Super chat. Here we go again. Now I got to do the lights again. Super chat 1990. What? 1999. $20.
Thank you so much, Mike.
See, this is Studebaker lights that aren't up yet. See? I don't know. Can you guys see these okay? I don't know how the camera rate and the flash rate on this is.
I guess they like the lights. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Yeah, really.
I got the engine in the car.
Yeah, Kim's really happy she got the engine in the car. How's that? Does that thing line up?
Yeah, perfect.
Transmission, crossmember lines up perfectly. Now the only thing left is the make sure the drive shaft fits. We haven't confirmed that yet.
The drive shaft will be fine.
You hear that? She says the drive shaft will be fine. Carlos says, yeah, they'll look good in the Studebaker. That camera picks them up fine. Dean Stevenson, do you have your upside down shirt on? I was just telling a story about you wearing that shirt. Are blue dots legal in Tennessee? I bet they are, because people run all kinds of weird stuff here. I mean, they would run stuff, I'm sure, in California that throw you in prison forever. You know, like lights underneath the lights that light up the rotors behind the. So you'll see trucks going down the road, like big jacked up pickup trucks, and you see the wheels going around and the rotors are lit up with LEDs and stuff I've never seen anywhere else. Lights look good. Wire a horn. You know, I told Kim I need a noisemaker. So yeah, I could put a horn in there somewhere.
Beep beep. We'll get one of the sticks.
Dean Stevenson goes whoop whoop, pull up, whoop whoop. See, you know what that is in reference to? See, there's a thing in the airplane.
Oh yeah, an alarm.
I don't know what the heck that thing's called. We call it the Prox box. They've changed the name on it over the years. It's the Ground Proximity Warning System, GPWS, and now it's they add another letter to it. Jeez, I don't know. We call it the Prox box. If you get in proximity to the ground, it goes whoop whoop, pull up, whoop whoop, pull up.
Pull up, man.
Oh yeah, something wrong. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. That was great. I mean, that was perfect. That wasn't making fun of Asians. That was making fun of the news reporters that report stupid stuff. Dean says all rumors about me are true. It's still raining, so I cannot make more photos. Yeah, bang, ding, ow. Yeah, there was the one in between. Yeah, that one. I can't believe that woman read that on the air. That's priceless.
They set her up so bad.
Oh, and then they got mad at themselves. That there was rapists or Asians. No, making fun of the idiot that reads stuff like that without thinking.
Well, it's the.
Okay, what's this? What's this? Dean says all rumors about me are true. Hey, you know what, Dean? When you said it was still raining down there, I was sitting there at my desk. So I grabbed my little radar thing on my phone and I spun it around to where you are. And sure enough, I see this line of thunderstorms going across New Zealand. I thought, that's where he is. And then I swung it back around to where we are. So yeah, you have a pretty good thunderstorm line of storms going across there. Don Abercrombie, welcome to the stream. Bel Air Buffet. I'm not sure what that is. Dean Stevenson, whoopee cushion. Yeah, TCAS. No, it's not TCAS. TCAS is the collision avoidance system. So all the airplanes know each other where they all are and everything, as long as they all have a DSP. But the Prox box. Yeah, what the heck? Call it the GPWS ground, and then GPWS ground proximity warning system. They also people call it GPWS, but they added a new letter to it. There's a new letter at the beginning of it now, from GPWS to something else like a GPWS. I don't know. So now we I don't know. We just always called it the Prox box. Yeah, you don't want to hear that thing go off. Dean Stevens says it was great, and he shows lightning and thunder and rain. Cabo overcast and 38C here. Oh, that's probably a nice day. You know, I do miss the warmth. Being in Arizona. Man, I worked in Arizona. Of course, we did everything when we were flying in sea, you know, so I would see temperatures normally out there 45 and sometimes many times 50 or 51 C. And you know, if you had a day like that, your takeoff distance would get longer. Brawler's here. How you doing? How's your transmission? One-Eye Cat. I've been here, but lurking. Well, it's good you're here.
Let the engine's in.
I was talking about you earlier, but because somebody was talking about putting a 360 in an early Valiant, and I said we got a guy that hangs out in here, put a 440 in an early Valiant, and you open the hood and it looks like it belongs, but there's no extra room. Dean Stevenson, 55.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, that's kind of cool there.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, that's about what it is in here. Oh, it's like 57 in the shop here. It's cooler there than it is in our shop. Ever had an engine failure? Have I ever had an engine failure? Here's the guy. Here's a guy that for a portion of my life I flew airplanes that were single engine airplanes. And yes, I've had engine failures. And yes, I've had unplanned landings. And yes, I've ended up places other than airports. Lost count of how many. I've also had engine failures that were the engine kept running but wasn't producing much power. Extended my glide some, but not enough. Yeah, I don't really want to tell all those stories because this isn't that kind of channel, but yeah. And you know what they say about twin engine airplanes? You know what the second engine's for? It's to take you to the scene of the crash. Because a twin engine airplane where you got engines out here. Where's my camera? And engines out here on the way. God, I can't get into the camera. When you got engines out here on the wings, and the engine over here quits. Now this engine's running, it's pulling the engine and pulling the airplane and making it climb. There's not if you get below a thing called blue line, there's not enough rudder to keep it from rolling over. And people get in that position and they crash. So that's like kind of a joke, but not really a joke. If you that's what the second engine's for. It takes you to the scene of the crash. So the big thing about a multi-engine rating is learning how to fly on one engine. Brawler says my transmission is still getting built. Can't wait to get it back.
It's going to take time. We've got our engine built, and now it's in the car with its transmission. This is a good night for me. I did so much in one night.
Dean Stevenson, I still walk around in bare feet. You did those videos of going out to your
Oh yeah, I saw them.
You used to do those bare ones feet. You go out to your mailbox bare feet.
That first No Name Nationals, I was running around in my bare feet.
You were running around bare feet.
They said, "You're bare feet." I said, "At least I'm not pregnant."
Freddy 777. Hello, friend. Hello, Freddy 777.
Mike and
who's Freddy 777?
Was it Tavo? And
you
Mike
a 777? You 777 pilot?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway,
guys, thank you so much for the generous gifts, super chats. That's fantastic.
That keeps us going.
Happy holidays, happy New Year. Wow. Really appreciate that. I was under the car and couldn't respond, but I heard. And that is too generous. Too generous. Really appreciate it. We're out here working.
Tell us your scariest mishap experience. You know when that kind of stuff happens, you don't think about when it's happening because, and the engineering on a plane, I understand everything going on. I know the airplane. And then something happens, and I deal with it. It's later on. Like in bed that night, I'll be laying there and going, man, that was a close one.
Yeah, like,
what was I doing? What was I thinking? Why did I take off with that problem? Oh, and there were times, many, many times, I take off with something where I expected problems. So I take off in that kind of position. It's like, okay, where am I going? If something happens, if the engine doesn't produce power, where am I going? All this kind of thing. And that's, yeah. I worked for a guy for quite a while that did Honda Civic engines. He didn't have any money. So he used used engines and then he turbocharged them. Well, you know what happens. You blow head gaskets, things break, pistons come apart. So when you take off in an airplane like that, you know that, you might have some problems. I don't know. When you're young and you just think you're invincible, I don't know. Mexican Spec says, I have to go take care of the dogs. If you're not here when I get back, adios. Adios.
Thank you, Mexican Spec. Oh, what a good night. We got super chats
We
and I
got
got the
super
motor in the
chats.
car.
Super
It's in the
chats. Got the
car.
motor in the car. Got the transmission hooked up.
Transmission's hooked up?
You have it, the transmission on the crossmember?
Yeah.
So it's hooked up.
Yeah.
So where's the drive shaft? That's what I'm really curious about.
Drive shaft's in the bin over there.
The bin. The bin.
This drive shaft is too big around. We have to shorten the original drive shaft.
Oh, so we don't have the good drive shaft. We have the drive shaft for the Ford.
Yeah, and that drive shaft's too big around. It hits every time you hit a bump. It hits the floor pan because the drive shaft.
It
Sort of
only
thing
did
is
that.
really
When
narrow
we,
in
it
those
only
cars.
did that when we had all that weight in it. Remember that we
It
had
did it on the way out. We didn't have that much weight in it on the way out. Well, we did have a couple of spare tires in it and stuff.
Yeah, we could get that drive shaft in there and get it running. Drive it.
Yeah, we'll get it running. But what I'm saying is, I gotta
Put a couple of air shocks on the back and bring it up an inch.
Well, we could do that. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Oh, says good night, and she says good night, Mexican Spec, but she says she'll probably be turning in shortly. Yeah, every landing you walk away from is a good one. Who was it used to say? Any landing where you can use the airplane again is a good one. Yeah, Kim. If you land and you can use the airplane again, it's a good landing.
I mean, I agree with that, but I don't know that your boss would agree with that necessarily.
Kim's going to spend the next 30 minutes trying to remember where she put the U-joint. Oh, I bet it's all together. 48-inch shackles, no.
But most of that stuff is already ready to go. Didn't have to be taken apart.
This car, for those of you who were not here, what started this problem? Oh, when she bought this car, the rear end had a noise in it that sounded kind of like, imagine if you had a blender in your kitchen and you put marbles in it and turned it on. The rear end was really bad. And Kim had a some little Ford pickup out here. What was that thing of? What was that Ford truck?
Was it a Ranger?
Ranger. Yeah, Ford Ranger truck. And the width of the rear end was identical to the Dart. And of course, it uses the same lug bolt pattern as the mid-size Chrysler products. So we took that rear end, we brought it in here, we cut the whatever connections it had for whatever it did, and we welded a set of spring perches on it and a set of shock mounts for the Dart, and put it under there, and it fit so just perfectly. First time we put it in there, everything just went together, bolted right up. So it's got a Ford rear end under it with, 345 gears? I don't know if Kim's listening.
I believe 345, yes.
Yeah, so it went from whatever it was to 345 gears. So that made it a little bit quicker, but it still went down the road fine. Well, now it'll have the automatic. It'll have a fresh 6-cylinder in it, a fresh slant 6. And that rear end, this will probably go pretty good.
The slant 6 had a miss in it, but it ran really nice. It wound out okay on the highway. We could go 70 miles an hour. It was no trouble. But it did have an idle miss. And if you didn't watch the recent video I did on my channel, I'm going to spoil it. Every piston I took out, all the top rings were busted. A bunch of the second rings were busted. You can't really see, but as I took them out, they just fell up. The rings just fell apart.
That car was not fast with that engine, but it'd go down the road just fine.
I mean, yeah. But it smoked, and it had a lot of blow-by. But it ran.
Oh, Tavo says, did you grab the speedometer cable from the auto donor?
I still have the other
Yeah, but that's for a manual, or is it the same?
I don't know.
Dean Stevens says Ranger 2.3, 7.5-inch axle, 56 inches wide. He says 373. This one was marked with 345.
345. It was a, what was it, 87 Ranger?
87 Ranger.
89 Ranger?
89, maybe, I don't know. Now Dean Stevenson, oh, that's right, 345. And then the car also had a grinding in the right
And
front.
the Ranger was not a 2.3. It was a,
Oh, it was a clone engine.
it's 2.9. And we got that Ranger to pull the engine for the Bronco 2, which I did a video on last winter. In the damn cold of the winter, I did a Willet run, and then I put new head gaskets on that engine, and it's still garbage. So I did get another engine this summer for it, and that engine is in a trailer sitting over in the lean-to over there, ready to get put together. Now that I have an engine in this, now that the Bronco is on the, I mean, there's a lot going on here. We're not just not doing anything. People think we don't do nothing around here.
Dean says rings everywhere.
Buff Del Campo.
2.9. Yeah, it's 2.9.
People think we don't do nothing around here, but that's,
I don't do that
couldn't
much.
be further from the truth.
I don't do that much, but I'm gonna have to start doing more. You're gonna have to start doing this more. Well, when we get my Ford in here and we turn it into a Ford shop for a short period of time.
Ford shop. Yeah, let's turn it into a Ford shop. Let's do it.
Well, we got to get it running better. It's carburetors.
Oh, we'll get it running.
Got to put a different carburetor on it. Got to get it.
That car though, it's got low mileage on it. It's complete.
Oh, that car runs so well.
It's a good little car.
The only time it doesn't run well is after you shut it off. Then it's hard to start.
Something's wrong with that.
And I think gas dumps down inside the engine from the carburetor or something. In the morning, it's impossible to start.
Yeah, it's troublesome.
That car needs a suicide knob on the steering wheel. You know what they used to call those things? Okay, for all you old folks in here, who remembers, and I'm probably the oldest one, who remembers something called a Brody knob? Brody.
Yeah.
That thing on there was a Brody. And people would say, I'm going to do a Brody. And that was like where you spin the car around. And a Brody, that came from a guy that was did some stunts and stuff in the late 1800s. His name was Steve Brody. There was another Steve Brody that used his name. He was an actor much later, but the original Steve Brody, people, anytime they were going to do something crazy, they go, I'm going to do a Brody. Well, that, when I was young, like in the 50s and early 60s, if you say you were going to do a Brody, that means you're going to spin your car around in circles.
Donut?
Yeah, donuts. And that's what that meant. And that knob was called a Brody knob. But when I was a kid, all the old men had those things. Guys of my grandfather's age, like my grandfather had a 51 Dodge, just a four-door sedan.
Ow!
Had a Brody knob on it, and that's how he'd drive, with that knob. And there was a lady down the road from us that had a Hudson. Had a Brody knob on it. That's how she drove, by
places where you're not allowed to have a Brody knob on a street car.
Well, and the reason why is because all those cars had manual steering. The steering wheels are huge because that's the only way you could have enough power to move a big heavy car around like that. And then it was a really low ratio, so it took like 4 or 5 turns lock to lock in this giant steering wheel. So they had this Brody knob on there, and now I guess it's like Kim says, some places you're not allowed to have them. I don't know. But when we were kids, we were kids. They were, it was the old men that had them. We were like little kids. It was like guys in their 60s then that had them. Cody Carvon says, one problem with a Ford in the shop, it never leaves.
Oh, it'll keep coming back, I'll tell you that. Nah, that's a good Ford. That'll be a good car once we get it. It just needs some love. It wasn't neglected. It just was.
Here Here's what that car needs now.
Too many years of.
Yeah, Jaguars. Don Abercrombie, the Ford Ranger with a Ford 8.8 rear end swapped into an AMC Hornet FSP with a V8. FTW front, FTW. What's FTW? FTW. Huh?
For the win.
8.8 Ford rear end swapped into an AMC Hornet SST with V8 FTW. Oh, for the win. Yeah, you're probably right. That's so big guys had something to hold onto when arrested.
I mean, a lot of truckers will have those Brody cars. Tractors, people put them on tractors all the time.
And that's what Mike N said. Brody knob is the same thing. Yeah, so you've heard that. Yeah, see, that car right now of mine needs a couple of things. It needs a carburetor. We know that. We knew that the day we got it. The window on the driver's side is non-existent. There's somebody cut a piece of Lexan or plexiglass or something. I almost think it's Lexan because it's so wiggly.
Yeah.
So, and then they taped it in place with the old, not good duct tape, but the duct tape that leaves strings and goo and stuff all over.
Yeah.
So it's all stuck to the car. So I got to get that out of there. There's a new window in the car, so I got to put that window in. Yeah. And
it's a long list of little things.
Yeah, it's like little stuff. But I mean, as far as the car goes,
the biggest thing is the heater.
Starts up, runs, drives.
We drove it all the way from Texas.
Yep. Transmission shifts like a new transmission. It's just nice.
We drove it all the way from Texas. There's no rust on the car. There's no body damage. It's a good little car. Very desirable model.
Oh, the heater core, yeah. But your car will be good with a couple of small fixes. Heater core, yeah. The heater core is he didn't tell me that. And then pictures of the car, the heater hoses were hooked up. And so I didn't think much about it. And when I got there, he opened up the trunk and there's a brand new set of headers in there. He goes, "Oh, I've got these headers for you." It's like, wow. They're still in the plastic bags. They've never been opened. And he goes, "There's a new heater core here." He goes, "So it's just done. You just got to put it in." I'm like, "Heater core?" This thing has air conditioning. So it's a Fairmont with AC heater core. Oh, no. The book, I know off the top of my head, the book gives 8.3 hours for that. And nobody can do it in 8.3 hours unless they cheat and leave fasteners out and stuff. So it's like, oh. I said I'd never do another one. So I guess I'll do another one.
I guess you got no choice, though.
The lights just went out. What happened?
Well, that's the night that the lights went out in Georgia. That's the night that they hung an innocent man.
What are you doing?
Don't trust yourself to no back street southern lawman. Because the judge in the town, blood stains on his hands. Oh, never mind. Lights went back on in Georgia.
I have an old 8-ball steering wheel knob kicking around here for some reason. I haven't found a use for it. Put it on one of your Volvos. Brody knob on a Volvo. Those Volvos don't have power steering, do they? Maybe they do. I don't know. What are those old, the big, this isn't something bad about Volvos. I kind of like them. The kind of boxy looking Volvos that came out after the, I don't know, they must have been 80s Volvos. Kind of real boxy looking things. You open up the hood and you just know there's enough room in there for any V8 engine you want. Do those have power steering? I don't know. I don't think they do. I don't know. Davos says, "I need a Kim equivalent here. The mind knows what I want and need to do, but the body keeps saying no." I'll have an 8-ball for a shift knob. Mike N. Vicki Lawrence. Vicki Lawrence. I remember Vicki Lawrence. Dean Stevenson, partial lift, and then tin snip plastic rework with double-sided tape and 2-part epoxy. JB, everyone needs a friend like Kim.
Oh, yeah. I'm good. Good times. I'm a lot of fun. Except when I'm not.
Well, this
Ask Buff Del Campo how much fun I was before the stream. I was being a real bitch.
before the stream.
Yeah, when we were trying to push this in, I was in a shitty mood, and I was.
Well, I didn't notice you were in such a bad mood.
Grumpy. You should have already had this
sure
done.
Does. Rather heavy steering without them. See, that's what I thought. Mine from the 90s, but yeah, you can. Ellie swap. Robert Bertrand. Good evening.
Welcome to the stream, Robert.
Automatic OD Campo Garage. Yeah, mine's gonna have. I don't know what rear end ratio mine has. That's the only problem buying a car and not seeing it in person is there's always a surprise you didn't plan on. Yeah, this guy. I think this guy really tried to be honest with me, and he told me right off because I'm not a mechanic, and I noticed a couple of things just in the pictures.
He really wanted to sell the car. I know he was downplaying the problems as best as he could, and he was probably asking a premium and didn't expect to get it. And then when we promised him his premium, like he was like, "Oh, you're gonna pay my asking price." So then he put a battery in it for us, and then I think then he just kind of got quiet because he didn't want to. And he said as soon as we got the money, I sent my wife out to get groceries. They were really.
This guy's an actor.
He's a nice guy.
And actors, and he's been an actor in some pretty good stuff. But he goes, you make a lot of money at once, and then you're looking for another job, and the chance of being an actor and being like on a TV series that lasts for 20 years or something is really hard. So you go from one show to another to commercials to whatever. So, when they got the deposit on the car, they went straight to the grocery store. Vicki Lawrence, she was the singer who sang Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia. Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, okay. Hey, wait, who said that?
Mike N.
Mike, I'm going to give you 2 points because not only did you recognize that I was singing a song, but then you gave us the answer of who that was. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations for your 2 points.
Four-Eyed Pride shows you the alternative way to fix the air conditioning on Fox Mustangs. Early ones the same. Yeah, before she was Mama Harper.
Nice.
That was Vicki Lawrence, which was on Carol Burnett's show. Yeah, she did some things on Carol Burnett, and she was kind of cute girl, I really liked her. And then all of a sudden she was Mama, and it's like, wow, I don't know if that character fits her, but she played it so well. And then, of course, the other clowns they had there, Harvey Korman and what was his name?
Oh, is that the woman who was Mama's Family?
Yeah, and
did she sing Nights Went Out in Georgia?
That's what you just gave points for.
No way.
Oh, she could have.
I thought it was like Reba McEntire or somebody. I will
Brenda
revoke
Carter.
Those points.
You're gonna revoke the points. You're gonna look
I
it
will
up.
revoke those points.
Brenda Carter. Oh. Buff doesn't notice the mood swings. Nice. Oh no, there's times I notice them. But tonight, what happened tonight was I didn't notice the mood swings because my mood was also changed because Kim had come up here early and started a fire and got the place warmed up. And then we decided to go a half an hour later because I don't remember why. Because
we weren't
ready. So then we scrambled up here and decided to push the dart inside, and it wouldn't. It was like, this is going to be easy. It pretty much level ground, pushed the dart in, but it wouldn't go, and pushed and pushed and pushed. Got my garden tractor, and the tires just spin. It wouldn't go, and the harder we tried, the more it wouldn't go. And we had the doors wide open the shop to push the vehicle in, so all the heat went out, and I could feel the pressure from, hey, I don't want all the heat to leave. So by the time we got inside, it had gotten cold in here again. And yeah, my mood was like, hey, we got to warm this place up. So I was kind of in a mood anyway, so I didn't notice it she was also in the mood. And we got the car in, and she's happier now because
yeah, I got the engine in my car finally. It's been since what was it, the week after No Name Nationals I pulled this engine out.
So yeah, we pulled it out to fix an oil leak. We ended up putting a whole different engine in. 40 over, everything, whole different everything, and an automatic now. Hey, your car has an automatic in it, Kim.
That's true. It does.
She got an automatic put in it tonight. Dean Stevenson says 273, but if it's a 6.7 sterling, 6.7 sterling. What's a 6.7 sterling?
I'm not sure what we're talking about. I'm sorry.
6.7 sterling. There's got to be something from down under that's something that we call something else up here. It's a basically a Fairmont Futura or Mercury Z7, 1978, with a 3.3 liter six cylinder, which known everywhere else is a 200 cubic inch engine, automatic, unknown which we're in. It just drives like a normal car from then, high geared car. Almost family, the same woman. She had a musical career. Yeah, okay. It says same family. Yeah, she sang back up on a Todd Rundgren album too in the 70s with Edward James Olmos, another singer turned actor. Reba did a remake of that song. Okay.
Okay.
Vicki Lawrence sang it originally.
I see.
Olive says she's gonna crash out. Okay, good night. Take care.
Thank you for being here, Olive. Appreciate you. We really do.
Okay. Mama's house with Vicki Lawrence. Oh God. Smallest Fox axle, Sterling built. Oh, it could have been. Dean Stevenson says that axle is Sterling built. C3 Bordeaux automatic. Is it a C3 Bordeaux automatic or is it a C4? I don't know. Because I heard it could be either, but I don't know. I'm going to have to crawl under the car when we get it here and see what it is. Look at it. I'm actually hoping it's a C4. Do you to hook up cooler lines for the automatic? Oh, what are you going to do for cooler lines? You're going to put a transmission cooler up front, aren't you? Is that radiator?
Right now, as of now, this is all we have for cooler lines. They cut them off when they pulled the car out. So I have the fittings.
And the radiator does have automatic transmission cooler in it, right?
Does. And I have
and I mean that radiator.
I have a couple of coolers.
And that radiator is so big for that car.
Yeah,
it would definitely cool it. The radiator is for like a heavy duty radiator for a '67 Chevy 2 Nova.
I think I'm gonna remake these lines. Look, there's a big blob of brass on there.
Yeah, that's bad.
I think I just need to remake these.
Remake the lines.
But I mean, getting it in there is a big step.
So, and it has it's the last year for the downflow type radiator for the Chevy 2s, but it's like twice as thick and closer tube centers and everything else. Got like 7/16 tube centers, or maybe they're Chinese, so they're probably 10 millimeter tube centers. I don't know. They're real close compared to original. Original's 5/8, 2-row, and that's a 3-row. So, and it's got the cooler in the bottom. Dean Stevenson says the door code will tell you don't have to crawl. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Transcode BV273 axle. Yeah, you know what I need to do is go out there in daytime and snap a picture of that the things on the door anyway, so I have all that information. Is it getting colder in here? How's the? Where are you? How's the wood stove? Or should I walk over there and check? I don't know where you are, Kim. Are you near the wood stove?
Yeah,
Can you look at it and see what's going on in there?
sure.
KJ Kylie says air equip that cooler, Kim. Yeah, that cost more than the car. She can make up a set of lines. I think we have plenty of.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to get the car running tonight, people. I'm sorry. I hope you didn't think that we would. I know that we've got more than one, but getting it into the
What
car,
thermostat is that?
I think it's a 180. I'm not really thrilled with that housing, but it's good enough. I think it'll.
This thermostat needs a hole drilled in it.
Yeah, it does. But I thought I would be able to find somebody who knows how to do
It is a 180. What's this out of?
it was out of the cabinet.
Out of the cabinet.
Came out of the cabinet.
You know what I think this is out of?
No? What?
I think it's out of my Corvette.
Oh, really? That's.
I'm not sure it's good.
I'm running out of steam.
Huh?
I'm running out of steam. You want to test it up at the house?
Yeah, we can take it. And people are here running out of steam. Mike N says, "Good night, guys. It's been fun. Thanks for everything." Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that was so nice of you. Thank you so much. Who's Zach Kohler? Oh, we're talking about Mama's family.
Yeah, I missed that.
People
Zach
know
Kohler.
things.
Somebody new here. Yep.
Welcome to the stream.
Oh.
Yeah, we've got live chat about cars and working on cars and
Actually working on them. It's up to 58 degrees in here.
how did we get it so warm? It must not be
So
that
warm.
cold
I'm starting
outside.
to feel cold.
Oh, we better not let you get cold. If you catch a chill, you could get a cold.
Yeah, I'm already sick, so I'm almost better.
Okay. Well, how long have we been on?
We've been live since
About
10:30,
2 hours.
so 10:30, 11:30, 12, 2 hours and a
I
little
got
more.
that all done in 2 hours.
2 hours and 10 minutes we've been live.
Guys, I got the whole motor into the car.
And
Bolted
transmission.
down.
And the cross member in. All you gotta do is put the valve cover on it. Just set it on it. I mean, just
It's
set
not
it.
an all you got to do. There's a
No,
bunch
just
of
set
stuff.
it before we leave. Just set it on it so we don't have
Dirt in there.
yeah, whatever crawls in there at night. Some big spider or something or a
Yeah,
snake.
there's still a lot to do, but a day or two
The
with
snake crawls in
with
there.
heat in a day we could do first start on it. Maybe 2 days, but we're close.
Dean Stevenson. You can jam and kick back. Line sure the work is done. Time to warm up. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Toss the thermostat in a pot of water if it opens. To make a great short. Yeah, I guess I could do that. Sure, I could. Do we have a pot at home? We could
Yeah,
put a thermostat in, not ruin the pot.
I don't think it'll hurt a pot.
Do I have a?
Do I
Do I have a? Yeah, I do have a. Thermometer there too, so I could actually check it.
Yeah, I don't know if we have any other thermostats lying around. We ought to check more than one at a time.
Is this the right size? I don't think this is.
It is. I just checked it. Seemed fine.
It is the right size. Some of the Chryslers, I guess the big block Chryslers had the giant thermostats. Never understood what that was all about. Yeah, I used to have a thing in both my radiator shops had a little temperature gauge on it and water. Stick thermostats in there and turn it on and check them. But I always draw, for those of you who don't know, thermostat, I always drill a little 1/8-inch hole thermostat. Try to install it with a hole upwards. When you fill it up, it's not going to be all the way full, but the air slowly bleeds out. And you slowly fill it up instead of it like all of a sudden burps backwards up through the radiator and spills water all over the place. It just slowly fills up and makes a nice thing. And yeah, you don't have those problems. Kim. I'm going to have to get out of here. I'm getting cold.
Yeah.
What's it going to take to shut down here, Kim?
Well, we have to say goodbye.
We got to say goodbye. We got to turn some lights off. Turn this heater off. Yep. Yeah. It's come to that time. So, thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for the super chats.
Thanks for our moderator.
Yeah, Mexican Spec. He didn't make it back, but he's kind of told us that was going to happen.
Without your encouragement, we would not get as much done as we do. We appreciate you so much as an audience, as our friend, and as our viewers.
And Bruce Colton just showed up. Time to.
We're so happy to be able to be back. We went to Dallas, and then I came back with the flu, and then I gave it to him, and we haven't done a live in a month. It feels really good to do a shop live.
Do shop lives, yeah.
So.
Okay. Good night, all. Take care.
All right, we'll do it again. Harass them. If you don't see us, tell them when you're going to do a live.